For the month of February, the Wistariahurst Museum will display a poster exhibition, Black Citizenship in the Age of Jim Crow, which is organized and distributed by the New York Historical Society Museum and Library. This exhibit chronicles the long strides forward, bruising setbacks, and heroic struggle for equality that took place during the early 1900s. Wistariahurst Museum curator and Holyoke historian Penni Martorell explains how this traveling exhibit found its place for Black History Month at the Wistariahurst Gallery.
I found it a few years ago during the pandemic. The New York Historical Society is the group that put it together, did all the research, and in their mission, under the grant that they got, it was to share this information with other institutions. So they put together an 8-poster exhibit that outlines what you said of the laws of the Jim Crow era and how that affected citizens across the nation, Black Americans across the nation. And so, we figured we'd keep it on hand so when we had some downtime that we could put it to use. And it seemed appropriate this year that this would be the exhibit. So I've tried to enrich it a little bit with some local history. We had a scholar here, Erica Slocum, who did a project called Reliquary of Blackness and did a deep dive into local Black history here in Holyoke, and has enriched that history for us and for future generations, because now we have these oral histories and scrapbooks to look at that document Black citizens in Holyoke. So that's great. And, the meaning of this exhibit, these Jim Crow laws that went into place, are really the underlying structure to what we see in institutional racism now. And so it's really important to understand what that fight was for Black Americans to overcome those Jim Crow laws, and how much further we still have to go to, get equality for Black Americans.
The local work by scholar Erica Slocum has been a major contribution to amplify the history of the Black community in Holyoke and the Valley. The exhibit at the Wistariahurst Gallery will be supplemented with artifacts and images from the Black Holyoke collection.
Yes, so Erica did a lot of oral histories with folks who pretty much grew up in Holyoke. And the subtle ways that these laws took place or manifested themselves in Holyoke. So there was evidence of redlining. Through these oral histories, Black folks talked about how this affected their lives when they went to go buy a house, when they went to move into an apartment, the questions they were asked. And so this has just added to the history of Holyoke, another layer, another perspective of our own history. But we can see how it connects to national things that were going on with redlining and discrimination and, all of those things that were taking place.
Black Citizenship in the Age of Jim Crow is intended to be an educational experience that will be supported by additional materials for research and further knowledge of the Jim Crow era, as well as options for educators and members of the community to continue learning about the local history of the Black community.
The New York Historical Society has also included a video that we'll have running to bring some of those things to life in motion. And they've supplied us with a curriculum and a whole list of other resources that people can take away with them, do their own research, look up things online, as well as some local historical pieces. We have, there was an organization here in Holyoke called the Monarch Club, which was an African-American group that got together to advance and talk about their own causes. So little things like that we have collected, a little bit we've collected, and tried to bring them out for people to see as well, so from our collection. So I think the longer span of time that goes between laws that were in place and we think we're advanced, and yet, like I said before, this underlying framework of Jim Crow has really provided a structure for the institutional racism that we see now. So understanding what we had, where that came from, can help us understand how we need to dismantle it. And that is the key lesson. Yeah.
Black Citizenship in the Age of Jim Crow opens Monday, February 6th, and it will have a schedule of Mondays from 10:30 in the morning to 12:30 in the afternoon, and Tuesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Also, there will be opportunities for groups to visit by appointment.
So the exhibit will be open Mondays in the month of February from 10:30 a.m. till 12:30. And then Tuesday evenings from 4:30 to 6:30. So if you want to drop in during those times, you're welcome to do that and take a look at the gallery exhibit. If you have a group or need a special time, you're welcome to call us here at the museum, and we can try to make arrangements to get your group in to see it as we can. Keep an eye on our website if we have any special speakers or anything that we don't have anything planned right yet, but that may come up, so check our website. Wistariahurst.org is a good place to see what else is coming up. I really encourage people to come and see and learn, and perhaps there will be more stories that come to light. Oftentimes that happens. People come to see an exhibit and then we find another layer of history that we need to collect in Holyoke.